Hey, it's me, Helena, from helenawoods.com. I'm an astrocartographer, astrologer, author, teacher, and traveler, living around the world, pursuing my heart, my dreams, and sharing it online to hopefully uplift, empower, and inspire you to create a magical life in places you love. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the thing that I'm most passionate about in this life, and that is to follow your intuition, to trust yourself. This concept of self-trust, it is something that we are not taught in school. And can you imagine if we were taught in school at a young age how to trust ourselves, how to follow our inner knowing, how to follow those pings, those gut feelings, how confident, how sure and certain we would be in life. Can you imagine all of the things we could do in this life, all of the ways we can embody confidence and certainty and trust, our psychic abilities, our healing abilities, our abilities to serve and give to others. It is so true that when we live a life that's really in alignment, whether it's with that self-trust and that connection with your intuition, or just in our external reality. Maybe we're doing a job or we have a career that we really love and we're passionate about it and we feel very fulfilled. Or it's a marriage that makes us feel like we're on top of the world. Or our friendships, our community, the way we give and our service. When we live a life externally that we're really proud of and we feel really fulfilled by it, internally, innately, when our external is so in alignment with our soul and what we came here in this life to be, to embody, innately, we're naturally going to feel that desire to uplift and help other people and to help others get to the same place that we're at. And I want to share with you how to get unstuck. If you're feeling a little stuck in life, or you're feeling like you're not living a life of fulfillment or that sense of connection with yourself, with your inner voice, with your intuition, I want to give you these 2 tips of things that have really helped me in my own life to hopefully inspire you so you can walk away from this video feeling empowered and excited by life, and to remind you to trust yourself again. If you haven't followed me already, be sure to check out my Instagram at Ms. Helena Woods, and also check out my website where I have tons of free content, blog posts, newsletter, free emails that I send from on the road as I'm traveling the world, and online courses and consultations. I have a full business with lots of different things that I do as the traditional, multi-passionate, variety-loving, manifesting generator. I do a lot of things, but I always trust myself and I always lead from my heart and I follow my excitements. And this brings me to tip number 1, which is connect with your inner voice as opposed to the mind. The mind is the ego. It's a chatterbox. It's a fire hydrant. It's a sort of fear-based, risk-averse part of our body, of our mind, that really just wants to keep us safe. And I talk a lot about this in my book, Slow Living, about the mind versus the inner voice, and being able to differentiate the 2 voices or the 2 energies that you have within you. The one that wants to keep you safe and is a bit more risk averse and is a bit more fearful and fear driven, versus that soft whisper, like almost deep part of your knowingness. This is called claircognizance, that ability to know things or sense things in your body, in your gut. But for some of you, it can also be like that tiny whisper or that psychic ability, that random knowing download that comes out of nowhere, or sometimes you'll get a visual out of nowhere. Connecting and deepening that relationship to your inner voice. That is going to be the most important thing you ever do, and the most important relationship you can ever cultivate is the one with your inner voice, the one with your intuition, the one with your gut. And the way to connect with that energy is you want to connect with your heart space or your gut. And you might feel this in your heart and your chest area, or you might feel this in your stomach area, but you want to start connecting with that energy and asking it questions. And I know that this works because I've been doing this in my own life as a practice since I was 7 years old. What you want to do is you want to get a journal. There are several different ways you can connect with your inner voice. Personally, for me, I have been writing and journaling to my inner voice since I was like 7 years old. Literally, I would write, "Dear God, tell me about blank. Dear God, I am confused about blank. What do you want me to know?" I've been writing to my inner voice, to something magical, to the universe, to the spirit, to whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to call this. It really doesn't matter. Whatever word you want to call it, the universe, God, Holy Spirit, the inner voice, the intuition, the force, if you want to call it the force, dear the force. What would you like me to know today? You can do that, but it's a matter of reaching out, connecting, being the first person to acknowledge that. And you can ask questions in your diary. And what you want to do is you want to breathe and exhale. If you want to release, the easiest way to connect with your gut or your intuition is to breathe and exhale it out and connect with your body. When we're talking about connecting with the inner voice, this is a bodily thing. This is a physical thing. This is not a mind thing. If you're holding your breath and you're thinking so much and you're in spirals in your thoughts, that's fear and that's the mind. And we want to go into the body. We want to feel connected to our physical body because the body will tell you whether it's your chest or your gut. We want to start deepening a connection, a relationship, and a communication, opening that communication channel with that aspect within us. And this energy, what does it feel like? Well, it feels peaceful, it feels present, it feels all-knowing, it's not dependent on time, and it's so immensely trusting. You'll notice that the inner voice of the intuition or God or whatever you want to call it, it always feels like all is well. It's all going to be okay. You are loved, you are safe, you will be okay. That's what it feels like. That's the energy that you're gonna feel when you connect with this inner voice. It's so loving. It's so loving. And you can connect with this every day. In fact, I recommend you connect with this energy every day. In fact, it's what I do. Every morning, I start my day with my journal and I write to my inner voice and I ask questions. If I'm afraid of something, I ask questions. If I'm not afraid and I'm just in a happy mood, I'll say, universe, what would you want me to do today? Dear inner voice, what would be the most exciting thing that would lift my heart today? What feels like joy today? What should I do that would connect me with love today, inner voice? And I'll let whatever comes up to inspire my day, whether it's making a video like this, which I got the idea this morning while I was having my coffee to film this video today, or it could be go on a run, or it could be to reach out to someone via email. Sometimes I'll get random downloads while I'm driving or working out or taking a long walk. It'll be like, I'll get a random download from my husband. I'll be like, Alex, I just got a knowing sense that you need to do this, or you should reach out to this person, or this is something I think that would really help the situation that you're in. And it's always amazing because it's always so random. It's like some random topic that's like completely out of left field. And my husband trusts me so much because he's seen for the 10 years we've been together, he's seen how anytime I get a gut feeling and I tell him, or like I have a gut feeling about something, he knows that it's always right. And I don't want to be that person that's like, the wife is always right, because that's not true. But my gut, my psychic ability is so strong because I've cultivated such a deep relationship with it for years that it's like he knows and he trusts when something random comes up for me and I tell him. Now, some of you may not get your answers through journaling. Some of you might want to commune with it vocally or just silently with your body, putting one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, and breathing and asking questions and connecting with it. Maybe when you're on a walk in nature, you can just open that channel. Hi God, what would you want me to know today? Dear inner voice, I'm so grateful for this day that you've given me. I'm so appreciative of all these small wonders. I feel you, I see you, I sense you, I trust you. Everything is divinely timed. What would you like me to do today, inner voice? I'm trusting in that and I'm trusting in you. Just opening up that channel to connect with something higher and something beautiful and divine and magical. Just communing with that through talking, through a voice memo if you want to record it, or just connecting with it while you're on your walk with your dog in the morning, just opening that channel up. I often find that I'll open up that communication channel when I'm doing something like going for a walk in nature, or I'm doing something like maybe I'm doing a task or I'm busy doing something. I'll just randomly feel that knowing to open up and I'll say, I feel you, God. So great to connect with you today. Something as simple as that. And I am not religious. I did not grow up in a religious household at all. I'm deeply spiritual, but I do not believe in the dogma of traditional religion at all. But I do think there's a lot of universal truths in all religions that is connecting back to something universal, something divine, something magical, something mysterious that we don't really know what it is. And I don't think any of us will ever fully know what that is, but there is something magical about connecting with that energy and just developing that self-trust. And tip number 2, the second thing to do to help you get unstuck is you want to start taking immediate action on whatever your inner voice is telling you to do. In my life, I can literally tell you the countless times in my life where whenever I've taken immediate action on something that my gut told me to do, I have had amazing success, abundance, fulfillment, peace, like amazing things in my life have come, results externally have always come when I followed the inner voice and I followed that gut feeling and I went with it and I took action. Going back to that question of what do you want? If you could do anything in your life, what would you want it to be? It's not going to happen unless you take action. And there's so many people out there that get so stuck in life because they're not taking action. They're not physically putting themselves out there. They're not taking risks. They're not attempting new things that are uncomfortable because you've never done it before, but they're just not going for it. And I can't tell you the amount of people I've coached or the people I've talked to or the people I've met who like have all these dreams and things they want to do with their lives and they're not doing it because there's fear coming up or they're doubting themselves or they just have immense blocks, whether they're actually blocks or just some sort of like just resistance, overthinking, that they're not taking action. The more you resist the taking action, the more stuck you will feel. And I can attest to this because there are times in my life when I know I'm supposed to do something and I don't take action, and it prolongs that stuckness because I'm not moving. I'm not moving that energy. I'm staying stagnant. And the best way to combat that stuckness and that stagnation is to just take action. Honestly, if you're so stuck, who cares what action it is? Just take action. Go for a run. Write a list of 2 things you need to do today, even if it's super simple, like check your emails or whatever. Just get that action moving, small little things. And then once you start getting those small actions out of the way, you can then opt for a bigger action that might make you feel uncomfortable or have some sort of fear around it. In my life, I have had the most magical, abundant, freedom, energies that I've always wished to feel in my life and embody in my life. They all came because I took action consistently on my excitements, on the things that I got from my inner voice, from journaling and talking. When I had a gut knowing about something, send that email, reach out and send a DM to that person, write a blog post, start a YouTube channel about slow living, sign up for that Amazon credit card and get that used camera and start doing photography. All of these things that have come to me in my life through meditation or journaling or being alone in nature, they have led me to take action, which that action has inspired something else, which inspired a business, which inspired my freedom, which inspired my abundance in my life, which allowed me to live a life that I've created for myself that I'm absolutely in love with. Like, I am living the most fulfilling life that I've ever dreamed of. And it's because I trust myself. And when my inner voice tells me to write a blog post, I write a blog post that day. When my inner voice says get on camera and film a video, I film the video that day. And the minute that doubt comes up, which because it will, I get doubt too. I get fear coming up that makes me want to hold back and be settled and stay small and not shine. That comes up for me all the time. But I label it. I say, hey, I know that's fear talking. That's stagnation talking. That is doubt talking. That's not me. That's not my soul. Your soul, your authenticity, what you came here to do, you are pure love energy and you came here to shine in whatever way you are here to shine in. Whatever that looks like to you, whatever your talents are, your gifts, you came here to live a life of authenticity. You came here to shine bright. And when you honor that brightness within you and you don't allow fear to keep you stuck and you label it, you take a deep breath, you exhale, and you take one action. The more you consistently do that, the better your life will become. The more you do that, the more you're going to develop that self-trust that I've been talking about. Because the thing about the mind and the thing about, how our brains work, we need to see something to believe that it's real. We need to see results in order to believe something, honestly. And so whether it's seeing other people, other expanders who are living a fragment or a piece of what we're hoping for, seeing that happen for others, especially if it's people who are similar to our upbringing or have similar stories or backgrounds, because it makes us feel like it's possible. Like it's possible to actually do that and to live that life. We have to see that. And the other way to do that is you want to start seeing results from the actions you're taking from your inner voice. So let's say the inner voice tells you to make a reel on Instagram or post a YouTube video, and you get 100 views. For some reason, the YouTube algorithm or the Instagram algorithm or whatever picked up that video and gave you 100 views. Like 100 people just saw your video. That result is going to reinforce your beliefs in your brain that it's possible. And the thing is, you can't stop. This is not about just trying something once and then quitting. You're never going to grow that way. You have to be consistent. And that's the truth. And a lot of people don't want to hear that consistency, but it's true. The more consistent you are with following your excitements. Notice that I did not say being consistent with tasks or to-do lists. Consistent with following your excitements, following your curiosities, following the little things that keep opening up and like give you enthusiasm and excitement and like literally give you energy and life force when you just think about it. So when your inner voice is telling you, try this today, reach out to that person, and then you think about it and it gets you excited and like, oh, I want to do that. Act on it. Act on it immediately. Do not stop yourself, because I'm telling you from past experience, I know this. If you hold back out of fear or you say, I'll do it later, that energy, that enthusiasm can disappear. So I ask you, I implore you to do the thing that your inner voice is telling you to do. Do it that day. It doesn't have to be in that minute, but do it before you go to sleep that day. I started my business, my astrocartography business. I have a multiple six-figure business. Literally, I went from making $11,000 a year on YouTube to multiple six-figure business doing astrocartography. Where did this idea come from? The idea came in meditation. I was told in meditation on my yoga mat in the morning, you need to talk about astrocartography. You need to write a blog post and you need to film a YouTube video and you need to post it. That blog post that I wrote went to the top search result of Google. That blog post though on Google, that started my business. That built a client base for me. It wasn't through YouTube. It wasn't through Instagram. It was Google. Writing a blog post. That blog post took me 40 minutes to write. I didn't second guess myself. I just did it. I just took the action. I just went for it. And years later, this has led me to the life I'm living now. Same with YouTube. I started this YouTube channel in meditation, actually. It was in the Akashic Records, which I've talked about before on my other channel. You can watch that video if you'd like. But I was in the Akashic Records meditating, and I was told, it was the beginning of COVID, it's the beginning of the pandemic, and I had a photography business, and my business like slowed down and all my money stopped, and I was told in meditation to get on YouTube and talk about slow living. I had no subscribers, 34 subscribers, and it's grown to this. It's because I took action. I filmed a video that day on slow living. It's one of my first videos I've ever made. I trust myself. And why? Because I've consistently seen results from following my inner excitements, following my inner voice, the enthusiasm, the excitements that light me up. Every time I've taken action on things that light me up, they lead to something magical. Whether that's money, whether that's career stuff, whether that's a friendship, a wonderful new friend in my life, whether that's meeting my husband. I met my husband online, swiping on OkCupid, because my gut, I was so done with dating. I was so done with dating, and I was so heartbroken by so many guys in New York. And I was about to cancel my account, and I swiped on his photo, and I knew that I had to meet him. I didn't know that he was the one, but I knew I had to meet him. That's led to the most wonderful, fulfilling marriage. That's the best thing in my life. It's 10 years. It's been 10 years. I talk all about that story of meeting my husband and that whole story of like how I really was open to receiving love in my life. I'll include that video up here on my other channel, my other YouTube channel. I take action. I don't second guess myself, even when I'm afraid. So my advice to you, kindred spirit, if you want to get unstuck, you need to physically get moving. you need to get off the couch. You need to stop this video right now and go take action on something that's exciting you. Go do it now and trust yourself and trust that inner voice. And go take action. That is the best way to get unstuck. Forward movement, action, and do not second guess it. Now go.